I really have a short message, and since it's already 2 o'clock, that worked out perfect. The old saying is, even a dead clock is right twice a day. Think about it. Even a dead clock is right twice a day.
Unless it's digital.
Do what?
Unless it's a digital clock.
Well, well, you know, us old people are
Yeah.
thinking a clock. We're not thinking, yeah, but you're right. All right. I want to encourage you with something. This was such a blessing with me, and I developed it, and if you'll give me about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. My subject is the everlasting God. And my text, I took, of course there's dozens and dozens of verses, but I took the shortest one, Habakkuk 3:6. Habakkuk is one of the minor prophets. It says, His ways are everlasting. God's ways are everlasting. When we make decisions or miss decisions, it's always on the cuff, it's always limited by time, space, information, and power. When God does something, it's as everlasting as He is. So, His ways are everlasting. First of all, what does that mean? And secondly, what does that mean to us? Well, let me just do a 4-point abbreviated. What does it mean God is everlasting? Well, number one, God is omnipresent. Everywhere. God is everywhere. God is spirit. God is not flesh. God is not corporal. God is everywhere at all times. He's with you, hearing your prayers as much as He is with somebody in Zambia or God knows where, in the Ukraine or Russia. He is there also hearing a believer's prayer. Now that just blows our minds. We cannot get our handle on that. But if you believe the Bible, God is omnipresent. He's everywhere. Secondly, God is omniscient. That's where we get our word science from. God knows all things at all times. Always has and always will. God is omniscient. When God makes a decision, He knows all about it, always has, always will, for all eternity. There's not a shadow of turning. God knows all things at all times. We obviously don't. We make decisions on present knowledge, plus our emotional state. And boy, how many times does that turn out to be wrong? Then thirdly, God is omnipotent. Potent means power. Omni, all powerful. Let me say something to you about God is omnipotent, all powerful. Let me give you the fourth one, then I'll make an observation that should blow your minds. Fourthly, He's immutable. That means God does not change. As long as God is eternal, He cannot change. And since God cannot be other than eternal, He is immutable, He cannot change. What does that mean? That means what He has done, He will do. Did He part the Red Sea? He can do it again. Did He deliver a whole nation out of the world? He can do it again. Look at all that God did, all that He has done. Because He's immutable, He could do that again right now, just like that. There's a verse in Genesis where God asks, is anything too hard for the Lord? Because one of the prophets was questioning whether God could do that. And God rebuked him by asking a question back, is anything too hard for the Lord? And then when you get to the book of Jeremiah, the answer is there is nothing too hard for the Lord. have to be careful about not explaining God by our what we can do or can't and know or don't or plan or don't. Because God is not at all on the same wavelength. Man's ways are variable because we don't know. That's the reason the Bible says the help of man is vain. We've all made promises, then couldn't keep them. We've all made commitments, and then couldn't keep them. We've all had our plans, but couldn't carry them out. We've had our desires. And how many times do we make decisions based on fear or circumstances, and it invariably does not work? No, His ways are everlasting. So, let me make 4 applications to remind us of the greatness of God. Number 1, the Lord's ways are the result of divine deliberation. He doesn't have to think things through like we do. His deliberations are divine, everlasting, correct. Well, here's the verse. He ordereth all things according to the counsel of His own will. And that will can't be thwarted, can't be understood, can't be contradicted. Nothing, anywhere, ever can thwart what God determines to do. At this point, let me adjust a thought to y'all. And you may not be much privy to this, but it's a living fact today. Modern theology has lowered God nearly to human level. There are a lot of people who use the God word who don't have a clue what the God of the Bible is. I'm going to show you the God of the Bible. He ordereth all things. God runs the show, whether we can see it or not, whether we like it or not, whether we understand it or not. God runs the show. This is His earth and all in it and everything in it. God ordereth all things. How? According to the counsel of His own will. Can you not see, as you watch the news and you watch our leaders, local, city, state, national, can you not see them struggling with decisions and how many times they make decisions and it just won't work out? And invariably their idea is, let's spend some more money on that project. It doesn't make anything better. Because God gave government. God is a divine institution, just like the family is a divine institution, just like the church is a divine institution. It will not work without Him. Only God has the wisdom, infinite wisdom and counsel, according to His own will, to make things work. Human action is frequently the result of passion, or fear, or circumstances. It's not a man that walketh to direct his steps. And by the way, when humans make decisions, it always results in regret and alteration. That's the best we can do. Nothing can surprise God. He knows everything. Nothing can happen that He did not foresee. Nothing happens without His approval. Romans 11:36, for of Him and through Him and to Him are all things, to whom be glory forever and ever. Amen. So, the Lord's ways are the result of divine deliberation. Number 2, His ways are the outgrowth of immutable character. Now, this may be a little hard to explain, but I'll follow my notes real close so I don't get everybody confused. His ways are the outgrowth of immutable character. The fixed and settled attributes of God. The ones I just read you, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, immutable. They are eternal and they shall never change. Unless God can himself change, his ways cannot change. Make sense? Whatever his actions have been, they will and must remain the same. Since actions in the past were made out of omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, and immutable. And if he's still the same, then he will keep making decisions because he's omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, and immutable. His actions must always be the same. He is eternally just, always will be. He's eternally gracious, always will be. He's eternally faithful, wise, tender, and always will be. Matter of fact, he said, I am the Lord, I change not. Now, beings like you and I, a being will do according to its nature. That's why a dog barks, and a cat meows, and a horse neighs, and sinners sin, and godless nations decline, and religionists who aren't saved apostate the church. Everything operates, it's a divine law that everything operates according to its nature. That's why all changes with man and earth. When man makes decisions, when man runs the show, it says in the Bible, change and decay in all around I see. Because man is acting toward his nature, which is what? Sinful. Therefore, nothing man touches can ever move in that direction. It may for a little while, but eventually it must act according to its nature, which is downward. Not so with God. God does not know a shadow of turning. His ways will abide everlastingly the same. You know, I mentioned in the message this morning that just barely over 40% of church-going public now believes that salvation is eternal. God would have to stop being God for you to lose your salvation. Actually, when we say that we can lose our salvation, it is the greatest affront to a holy God. Number 3, God's ways are the embodiment of irresistible might. Let me say that again because it's a stumble. God's ways are the embodiment of irresistible might. Nothing from without can reverse God's judgments and ways and decrees. He says, I am the Almighty God. He said, I change not. He said, I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. I think probably one of the great illustrations of the irresistible might of God in 2 areas. Number 1, in the Old Testament Jewish people. For all the wars, do you realize there have been over 44 partial or complete attacks and destructions of the city of Jerusalem? More than any other city in human history, and it's still here. Do you realize there have been more attacks, open, public, just like it's fixing to happen again? Everybody around the Middle East, around that little Jewish state, said, we want them off, we want them off, we want to blow them up, we want to wipe them into the Mediterranean, and they won't do it because God won't let them. Because God said He made an eternal covenant to keep them. Even in their present state of dispersion, He is keeping them. And the second thing, you know that when once God says they're mine and I'm going to keep them, nothing will destroy them. He said the Bible, secondly to us, He said the Bible, and not a word of it will ever perish. And there is no book in the history of the human race the effort has been made to wipe it off the face of the earth. It's still here. Why? Because God said it's eternal. When God marches forth for the salvation of his people. He'll dry up rivers, mountains will fall, the deep waters are moved, the sun and the moon can stand still, the stars will fall, and the earth will tremble. But God's word will be fulfilled. Who can stay his hand or say to God, what doest thou? You know, God said that to Job. God rebuked Job for his lack of faith. And look, the book of Revelation, it's being torn to shreds by modern man. Every word of that book's going to be literally fulfilled because God said so. God's ways are the embodiment of the irresistible might. And then finally, number 4, God's ways are the manifestation of the eternal principles of right. The God of the Bible, the God of the universe, is a good God. He's loving, he's gracious, he's kind. He's not like the false gods. The false gods are all capricious. They're mad. They have to be appeased. I mean, even human beings are offered to them, not God. No, our God is a good God. God's ways are the manifestation of eternal principle of his right. Of his right. God's ways are right. God's ways are good. God's ways are eternal. They can never pass away. Man's ways are wrong. That's why everything that man touches breeds decay and ruin. The true and the good have about them a vitality which ages cannot diminish. In Christ, we will live forever. And while our graves go to the body, we go to be with the Lord, but even that at the rapture God will fix. I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish. So God's going to make a new earth. God's going to make a new order. God's going to give us new bodies. God's going to give us new life. There'll be a new temple. There'll be a street of gold. There will be trees, fruit trees that give 12 manner fruit every 30 days. God said, I make all things new. So in a nutshell, you want to know what, because God's eternal and can't change, and he sees everything just like that, for all eternity. Not just 6,000 years of this present order, but for all eternity. Therefore, he is eternal, he cannot change. You want to know what he's going to do? Look at what he has done. Because the same God, what he has done, will do it again. Don't listen to the foolishness of man. Listen to God, whose ways are everlasting. Amen? Amen. I'm studying something, I ran across that, and I thought, man, I want to develop that. So, amen. Thank you all for coming back this afternoon. Pray for each other. Pray for the church. Be sensitive to the leadership of the Holy Spirit here. When he brings somebody in our church to your mind, stop what you're doing and pray